Hello, my friends. This is The Art of Prepping. I hope you guys are doing good today. I recently was looking at some of the metrics of the internet, various metrics of use, of how people in the United States go about using their internet. And it was just really interesting stuff. So I thought maybe I'd share some of this with you. There's a lot of information, though, and I had to kind of reduce it to a more simple form. At least for this video. So what I did was I created 10 categories of use and I ranked them. Excuse me, I got some allergies today, so please bear with me. Just a little bit of drainage as well. But I ranked them from the most common use down. These are all still like pretty high up on the list. So I'm just kind of giving you like the top 10 categories really from my viewpoint. I looked at various metrics concerning websites, where people went on the internet, their keyword searches. I went through all the top 100 keyword searches, all kinds of things to put this together. And once again, I think you'll really kind of find this interesting. A lot of this you would probably already kind of agree with, or would have thought that this would have been how it was. But there's a few surprises in here. And so once again, this is for those who use the internet in the U.S., not in other countries or not the global usage, because I looked at that data as well, especially just, overall global uses outside the U.S. And actually the metrics are quite a bit different in the ranking at least. So what we have here in the U.S., the number one most common use for the internet is to connect with other people. Obviously, it was kind of something that I expected, because when you look at, the S&P 500 and how the companies are ranked, if you look at what people do on their phone, mostly it's social media connectivity. And so it was no surprise at all that Facebook was top of the list, and not that far behind was YouTube and then Twitter. So social media, very, very big. I was a bit surprised, though, when it comes to connecting with other people, that people still use email services as much as they do. I figured that some people still use it like I do, but I didn't understand how robust some of these email providers were. They get pretty high rankings, so people definitely are using emails. And it makes a lot of sense, because some people want certain levels of privacy. Certain people have certain types of information that may not be able to share on other platforms. Maybe it's just the size of the files, for example, but emails definitely still are, something that people do all the time. And then video conferencing platforms and so forth. So especially, because of what's been going on at the time of this video, lots of changes in how people do business. The second most common usage for the internet here in the U.S. is for general topic searches, just general education, understanding how things work, checking out spelling of words, even just looking up a calculator. An online calculator was a real big search. So that was really interesting. And I know I do that when I'm working on my book. There's a lot of times that I'm just kind of curious if I spelled the word right, or if spell check is even correct, because sometimes spell check, it's not always 100%. And there's times I just want to get maybe another word instead of the word that I have, a synonym or something, or antonym. And so definitely research, and you can go, very light with the research, or you can dig deep on the internet for research. So that's a broad term, but it looks like most people are kind of doing basic keyword searches just for things that are on their mind that they're trying to figure out. The third most common usage here in the U.S. using the internet is the acquisition of goods and services. Now, this is definitely not a surprise. People use the internet to get stuff, right, and get things done. And that would definitely include Amazon, which was way up on the list. eBay. eBay is actually quite up there as well. I thought maybe that was lower, but it wasn't. It was Amazon, eBay, and then went to Walmart and Craigslist and a few others. But definitely when you think about the internet, it's not just, research or talking to someone online, but maybe you just need to get something that you can't find locally. Maybe there's a special part to finish a project. And once again, it's not local. It's not being offered locally. So you have to find it somewhere else. And so the internet is a great resource for that. The number 4 here is entertainment. Now, this one really is pretty robust as well. Just amazing with the sports, people watching videos, maybe it's like Netflix, and gaming, adult entertainment, all those things was boom, right up there. And entertainment, though, I think it's a really growing category. There's a lot of people that are looking for distractions throughout their day, or for some people, though, they actually do games, for example, that are educational. They kind of use it as part of their learning regimen, but definitely entertainment. Number 5 is business opportunities. So basically having a website or having an online store, or maybe to have, in addition to your brick and mortar store, you have an online presence. And so definitely a lot of people take advantage of the internet in that particular way to promote their business or to increase cash flow or to set up various types of business opportunities that basically are kind of self-regulating, or they're automated. And this is where you see, even like on YouTube, for example, people who, like myself, for example, that will review or do an overview of a product and provide a link. And if you want to support that person, you can buy through their hyperlink, for example, through Amazon, and the person will get a small commission. And that really is nothing that I need to do. I just set it up one time. I just provide the link, and there it is. That's all. And it's just real simple. And so it's something that's really hands off. The next thing is number 6 here. And the 6th most common usage from my research is people gathering news. And I went ahead and put in there the weather, because there was a lot of individual searches specifically for weather. It's a big deal. I know I'm almost obsessed with the weather. I'll just even tell you, like, even as recent, I've been trying to mow the grass. And it's just been rain, thunderstorm, rain, cold, wind. It just hasn't let up for like 2 weeks. And so it's like, wow, it's like you kind of just looking for an opportunity to do certain things. And you got to know sometimes if it's, what the weather is. Of course, news, some people are obsessed with the news. It does rank pretty high. One of the 6th most common usage from what I could see, that's a pretty big deal. Because there's a lot of uses for the internet. Not just hundreds, but even thousands of uses. So that's pretty high up. But it makes sense that people want to know what's going on. They want to know what's going on. And, everybody has their opinion on objective news sources. In reality, though, in my opinion, of course, there's not that many of them. There's very few good sources for news. But even weather, though, weather reports, they change constantly. I have noticed that my local weather is constantly wrong. In a very bad way. They're way off, way off all the time. And but nonetheless, you just kind of work with what you have. But this is what people do on the internet. They connect with other people. They do some research. They try to find or acquire goods and services. They seek out entertainment. They have business opportunities. They want to stay current on news and weather. And number 7 is that, and this one was the surprise for me. I didn't even think about it, but yet I do use this from time to time. And I guess I just didn't think much, at the moment. But it's translators. People going and using translators for translations of, I guess, to understand what people are telling them, maybe through social media. Because some people I get also, they tell me that they talk to me in a foreign language on YouTube, and I don't know what they're saying, so I have to plug it into a translator. Maybe you're reading a book or trying to read an article or something, and it's in a different language. Maybe that's what you're using it for. All kinds of things. Or maybe you're just trying to like learn about a product and it's on a website and it's all in a different language and you need to try to translate parts of it. But yeah, translators are a big deal. And this is the one here, when you do a global search of keywords and websites, it ranks very high globally. People are using translators like way up there. It's one of the top uses of the internet. Now, number 8 here, this is not a surprise, but it's, it definitely is in the top 10, and it's the use of maps. In particular, if I was to kind of tell you like a website or, a place that people went to get their maps, it's Google Earth. I mean, not a real big surprise, right? And I should probably also say that when we're talking about on number 2, research, that the average person was using, Google, as a search engine. So you see Google pop up all over. They kind of dominate. It's about 90% now, roughly, of the search, search engine results are coming from like Google. So they dominate. Google dominates at 90%, and also with the maps, it's way up there. It's I believe it's actually over 90% on that. And so you have maps. I mean, it's so true, though, that we use it, right? Especially if you travel or you're going somewhere different. You want to know what the roads look like ahead of you, or you want to know how to get there. You want to know how much time you should have, right, to estimate so you can get there on time or to get home on time or whatever. And so, yeah, it's a big deal. And it seems like over time, the maps are getting so much better. And there's different versions too, topographical, I believe. And then you have like satellite view and all kinds of different views. Pretty cool stuff. At number 9, you have mail tracking. And I didn't even think about this. And I was a little surprised that it was in the top 10, but you know what? It does make sense because I do this constantly. If I order something, starting the next day after I order something, I'm checking in 1 or 2 times a day from there on out until I get the package. I want to know the status of my package. Was it really shipped? Where is it at? Has the estimated delivery time been changed and all of that? And so, yeah, people going on tracking sites, and the number 1 was the USPS, the United States Postal Service, which wasn't a big surprise. But then it goes like from USPS to the UPS to FedEx, and I think it was DHL was next. I think that's how it ranked. But yeah, basically mail tracking. And the last one here at number 10 on my most common used websites or web traffic, web uses of the of the internet. Basically was money transfers, and money management. People go into bank sites, people go into like PayPal and moving money around, paying people, but basically financial uses here and reasons. Not a real big surprise, people going to their, credit card site or, trying to open up a new account, but just a lot of, in particular, money transfers. So I do have a bonus here, but it's not such a big reason right now. This has kind of been in a waning form. So it's not like because of the, the situation that we're in, and I have to be careful what I say because YouTube, they censor everything. You can't really talk about anything now if they want to control the narrative. So I have to be careful. But at the time of this video, what's going on around the world, right? The threat. And so this particular use of the internet, though, has really come down. But people are still getting information about this topic. They're still planning on doing some things in the future. Not as much as they were, but basically what it is travel planning. Making travel plans and booking hotels and flights. Now that right there really is not much going on there. But traditionally, though, when you go back in the data over like the past several years, that would be pretty much, in a normal world. The world isn't normal, of course, but in like a normal world, at least here in the U.S., that's what Americans would be if that was a number 11. And this is the bonus one. It would be looking into travel, and some of this is for recreation, to go on vacations, but a lot of this also is business too. There's a nice mix in there. So I found out this information. I thought maybe I'd share it with you here. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you got something from it. And it kind of just helps to, for us to see the bigger picture of what people, do and how they just overall use the internet. Thanks for your support. We'll catch you later. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for your support.